Good day, everyone. My name is Alcherisu Botaslak from Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education, major in Home Economics. Today, our topic is all about the life and works of Jose Rizal.
Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Yalonda was a Filipino nationalist and a polymath during the tail end of Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is tagged as the national hero, Pambansang Bayani of the Philippines. An ophthalmologist by the profession, Rizal became a writer and a key member of the Filipino propaganda movement, which advocate political reforms for the colony under Spain. He was executed by the Spanish colonial government for the crime of rebellion after the Philippine Revolution, inspired in part by his writing Broke Out. Though he was not actively involved in its planning or conduct, he ultimately approved of its goals, which eventually led to the Philippine independence. He is widely considered one of the greatest heroes of the Philippines and has been recommended to be so honored by an official impaneled National Heroes Committee. However, no law, executive order, or proclamation has been enacted or issued officially proclaiming any Filipino historical figure as a national hero. He was the author of novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, and a number of poems and essays. Jose Rizal was born in 1861 to Francisco Rizal Mercado y Alejandro and Teodora Alonzo Rialonda y Quentos in the town of Calamba in Laguna Province. He had 9 sisters and 1 brother. His parents were leaseholders of hacienda and an accompanying rice farm by the Dominicans. Both their families had adopted the additional surnames of Rizal and Rialunda in 1849 after Governor General Narciso Claveria y Zaldua decreed the adoption of Spanish surnames among the Filipinos for census purposes. Like many families in the Philippines, the Rizal were of mixed mestizo origin, whose patrilineal lineage could be traced back to Fujian in China through his father's ancestor, Lamco, a Hokkien Chinese merchants who immigrated to the Philippines in the late 17th century. Rizal first studied under Justiniano Aquino Cruz in Binian, Laguna, before he was sent to Manila. As to his father's request, he took the entrance examination in Colegio de San Juan de Letran, but he then enrolled at the Ateneo Municipal de Manila and granted as one of the 9 students in his class declared sobresaliente or outstanding. He continued his education at the Ateneo Municipal de Manila to obtain a land surveyor and assessor's degree. At the same time, at the University of Santo Tomas, where he did take up a preparatory course in the law and finished with a mark of excellent. He finished the course of the philosophy as pre-law. Upon learning that his mother was going to blind, he decided to switch to medicine at the medical school of Santo Tomas, specializing later in ophthalmology. He received his 4-year practical training in medicine at Hospital de San Juan de Dios in Intramuros. In his last year of medical school, he received a mark of sobresaliente in course of medical pathology. By 1896, the rebellion fomented by the Katipunan, a militant secret society, had become a full-blown revolution, proving to be a nationwide uprising. Rizal had earlier volunteered his services as a doctor in Cuba and was given leave by Governor General Ramon Blanco to serve in Cuba to minister to victims by yellow fever. Rizal and Josephine left the Pitan on August 1, 1896, with a letter of recommendation from Blanco. Rizal was arrested en route to Cuba via Spain and was imprisoned in Barcelona on October 6, 1896. He was sent back the same day to Manila to stand trial as he was implicated in the rebellion through his association with members of the Katipunan. During the entire passage, he was unchained. No Spaniard lent a hand on him and had many opportunities to escape but refused to do so. While imprisoned in Fort Santiago, he issued a manifesto disavowing the current revolution in its present state and declaring that the education of Filipinos and their achievement of national identity were prerequisites to freedom. Rizal was tried before a court martial for rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy and was convicted on all three charges and sentenced to death. Blanco, who was sympathetic to Rizal, had been forced out of office. The fierce led then Archbishop of Manila Bernardino Nozaleda had interlated Camelo de Folavija in his stead of the new Spanish Governor-General of the Philippines, after pressuring Queen Regent Maria Cristina of Spain, thus sealing Rizal's fate. Upon his return to Manila in 1892, he formed a civic movement called La Liga Filipina. The League advocated these moderate social reforms through legal means, but was disbanded by the governor. At that time, he had already been declared an enemy of the state by the Spanish authorities because of the publication of his novel. Rizal was implicated in the activities of the nascent rebellion and in July 1892 was deported to Dapitan in the province of Zamboanga, a peninsula of Mindanao. After a short trial, Rizal was convicted of rebellion, conspiracy, and sedition and sentenced to death. He was executed by firing squad in Manila on December 30, 1896 at the age of 35. On the evening before he was to be executed, Rizal placed documents in his pockets and shoes, presuming his body would be handed to his family after the execution. His final poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, was hidden in an oil lamp, which was passed to his family along with his remaining few passions and his burial request. The firing squad consisted of 8 Filipinos armed with Remington rifles. Stationed behind them were 8 Spanish soldiers armed with Mausers with orders to shoot any executions who failed to carry out his duty. The life and works of Jose Rizal make us a better students and a better Filipino citizens. Jose Rizal, a determined man who wanted peace by creating this political group to fight and get their freedom back. It inspires many people by Rizal's books and word as he wanted freedom. Rizal served as an inspiration for many people during his time. For him, a revolution is not only about using bolos or firearms, but by using the pen, which is mightier than the sword. He said, Palmos said that it is the power of writer as a means to effect change that millennials can learn from Rizal. Rizal believed in the power of education and its power to change things and provide solution. As a teacher, he had very effective techniques. He made the locality as a source of learning in the various subjects. Together with his students, he explored the physical environment, learning together with them. Driven by his underlying love for his country, Rizal wrote the novel to expose the ills of Philippine society during the Spanish colonial era. At the time, the Spaniard prohibited the Filipinos from reading uncontroversial books because of the unlawful act depicted in the novel. To recognize the importance of Rizal's ideals and techniques in relation to person's condition and solution in the society, to encourage the application of such ideas in current social and personal problems, the issues to develop an appropriation, the deeper understanding of all that Rizal fought and did for. Rizal was given special attention as a hero by the American colonial administration because, unlike more radical figures whose ideas could inspire resistance against American rule, he was interpreted to represent peaceful political advocacy. Some qualities that would describe Jose Rizal are being open minded, intelligent, and hardworking. Jose really wanted to have freedom in the Philippines from Spain so that the Filipino did not have to be controlled by another country. He did not care about himself, he cared more about helping his countries. Rizal gave us freedom by using goodness. Jose Rizal became the Philippine national hero because he fought for freedom in the silent but powerful way. He expressed his love for the Philippines through his novels, essays, and articles rather than through the use of force or aggression. And Rizal always considered education as a medicine or something that could cure the problems of colonial Philippines. He believed in education that is free from political and religious control. He asserted that reform cannot be achieved if there is no suitable education, a liberal one be available to Filipinos.